If you're a business owner and you're still single and you're struggling to find the right girlfriend or wife, this video is for you. Another Christmas and you're still alone. Today, I want to give you a practical action plan on how you can find the right woman to share life with. Most likely, you simply want somebody loving, kind, caring, nurturing, somebody that you can either merge your existing family with or start your own family with. Or maybe you just want to travel. The problem is you're either not getting enough dates with the right women that you're actually excited about, because on dating apps, it's not really what you're looking for, or the conversations fizzle out. In-person approaches, let's face it, you make excuses because you have approach anxiety, you haven't overcome that yet. Instagram, you don't even know that it's possible to send messages there to get dates. Or you go on dates and you thought, I thought we had a great time. And then her responses are getting shorter. She pretends to be busy forever. Or she sends you a text saying, you know what? I didn't really feel the spark. So, how do you fix this? Well, the first thing that I would invite you to do is to write a list of must haves, nice to haves, and deal breakers. Write down what your ideal woman would be like, somebody that you'd be truly excited to be with. Because what you want to do is you want to prime your selective focus. You want to prime your unconscious so you can even recognize her. Tony Robbins, he's done that experiment where he gets people to close their eyes and then say, look for red, look for red, look for red. If I were to ask you to look for red right now, look around, look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red. You might even notice my hair. You're noticing a lot more red than before. You've done this where you bought maybe like a watch or a belt or a jacket or a car, and suddenly you start noticing that item in multiple different places in the world. It existed beforehand. You didn't magically attract it, you just became aware of it. So the first step is priming your unconscious, your selective focus, your reticular activating or activation system. Then you need to start taking action. I love inner game. I have learned from some of the best psychologists in the world. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist myself, but I've learned from some of the best in the world, from some of the best coaches in the world. The coaching that I offer in terms of inner transformation is truly life changing in terms of confidence and mindset. I love inner game. All these inner game components are extremely important. At the same time, you have to live in objective reality. And one of the biggest transformations for your confidence and for your own sense of progress is to just get more quality options. The way you get more quality options is you build a good dating app profile. That's the first step. You approach in person and Instagram. You can choose which of those channels you want to focus on. That is entirely up to you. I would encourage you to use all of them, because remember, the reason you want to have as many quality options available to yourself as possible is to disqualify the wrong ones. It's not to become a player, but it's to make an educated choice. If you hired somebody in your business, for example, an employee, did you just pick the first best person? Well, maybe you've done that in the past. I've done it too. And did it go well? Probably not. And then you interview a lot of different people simultaneously so you have immediate comparison, because otherwise you don't even know what a good employee is. And then the more you've hired, the better you've gotten at it. So you want choice. Hinge, if you live in the US or the UK, or Bumble, Raya, these are probably the three ones I would focus on. I have no affiliations with any of them. I couldn't give two shits whether you use any of them or not. Pick whichever ones you want. These are just the ones that are working extremely well for clients of mine and I. I've done it so many times. I have another client of mine near New York. We just rebuilt his profile. A massive, within days, and I'm saying days, you get a massive uptick in the quantity as well as the quality of matches. Great pictures. So ideally, you have those types of photos: lifestyle, social proof, professional photography, and status enhancing elements. But even just, hear me now, even just with really good outfits, really good professional photos, the right bio, a lack of friction in the profile, a lack of blind spots that turn the wrong women off, that turn the right women off, pardon me, that alone can create a massive, massive increase in quantity as well as in the quality. Dating apps are amazing. Trust me. No, I love in-person approaches. I got a ridiculous amount of experience in person. I've probably done somewhere between 10 and 12,000 approaches in person over the last 8-something years. Sounds ridiculous, right? It's also my job. Keep in mind, you won't have to do that. Relax. I have to have 100, 1,000 times more experience than you, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to teach you from real experience. This is true. And I love it. And it's amazing. But dating apps, they're unbelievably efficient because you can spend 15 minutes a day and get one quality date a week. Isn't that amazing? You spend 15 minutes a day and you get one quality date every single week. I would encourage you to use Hinge, Bumble, and Raya. Start with them. Depending on where you live, Tinder, maybe Christian Mingle, like there's some Jewish dating apps, there's some Muslim dating apps. I could not care, right? But Hinge, Bumble, Raya are usually the best. And then you have to have really good prompts, you have to have a good bio, and then you get the premium version, please. And then you spend 15, 20 minutes a day and you're going to get at least one quality date every single week. I've been able to do it numerous times with clients where I say, from the day you start using the apps, in no later than 7 days, once your apps are set up, 7 days later, you should have your first date, quality. And then they should come rolling in. You need a date machine because then it'll be very easy for you to disqualify the wrong ones. That is the first important step. Now, if you run a business, you're busy. You might say, David, I don't have the time. Stop lying to me. I've done this with 9-figure business owners, with 8-figure business owners, with only 7-figure business owners. I've done this with principals of high schools, software engineers, finance bros, engineers, with investors, some people that I can't name. If they can find the time, you can find the time. If you sleep 8 hours a night, you have 112 waking hours available to yourself every single week. If there was a beautiful woman, inside out, personality-wise, values-wise, looks-wise, somebody who wanted to come and meet you in 2 days, would you say no? Or would you be excited? Of course you'd be excited. You'd make the time. Time is emotion. Once we believe it's possible and we make it a priority, we'll magically make time for it. And guess what? You're not working 16 hours a day anyway. Stop lying to yourself. You're not working 16 hours a day anyway. You have a social need. One of your most fundamental needs is that for love and connection. And guess what? When your need for love and connection is met, your productivity goes up. It makes you more money to have the right woman by your side. How much money have you lost out on by having the wrong woman by your side? Let that sink in for a second. And how much money have you lost by not being as happy and as energetic as you could be? Do you know how awesome it is? Fernanda and I have been together now for 6 years. I'm in the south of Germany right now, visiting my mother. Fernanda's in Barcelona right now. We're going to see each other again in a couple of days, hopefully. When I sit there and I work, and I love my work, I'm very privileged to be able to do what I do because I work with amazing clients. They end up in relationships, they get married, babies are born. Fernanda and I, we get invited to weddings. We have so much fun with the clients on the live calls, group coaching, one-on-one, whatever it is. But after a 14-hour day, sometimes it gets a bit long. And then Fernanda sits there and she goes, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for all the hard work. Oh, isn't that amazing? It's the reality. You can have that. I didn't have that with my ex-wife. My ex-wife would criticize me, not because she was a bad person, but because we truly weren't compatible. She was not a bad person. But if two good people come together who aren't compatible, you can create hell for each other. So I would want that for you. And you can. And it takes understanding, first of all, that having the right woman by your side will make you more productive. It will make you happier, and it will make you more money. Do an ROI calculation. How much money have you lost by not having this figured out? How much has it cost you? Hundreds, thousands, millions? Easily millions. Minimum 6 figures, if not multiple 7 figures. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. And how much is it costing you in productivity right now to not have the right woman by your side? Do a little calculation. Where are you performing right now? Even if you're performing high, what would you say productivity is out of 10? I'm not saying time spent working, but really being locked in. Is it a 7 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, a 6 out of 10? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, you say, okay, my productivity is a 7 out of 10. Let's say it's an 8 out of 10, okay? Where do you think it could be if you had the right woman by your side and you felt truly fulfilled, you're making love, you're excited, she loves you? Would you not be at a 10 out of 10? Even if you'd work a tiny bit less, you'd lock in so much better. One good idea. More energy when you talk to your employees, you're happier. Client retention, employee retention. Minimum 20% increase in productivity. Minimum. That's extremely conservative, okay? Do a calculation of your annual revenue. 20% over the last however many years. How much is that? That's available to you right now. And to be honest, even if your productivity wasn't going to change, what price are you going to put on happiness? What are you earning that money for if you're not going to share it with somebody? Because we as human beings, we're not selfish. That's what we're taught. Yeah, in part, we have selfish needs, but the greatest joy we have in life is when we share. You've taken care of family members. You've supported people in your life with advice, with effort, with money. You love that. And part of the reason you're not as happy as you could be is because you don't have a woman to pour yourself into. Not to say that she's going to become the number one priority and then you're just going to forget about the business, forget about your career or your body. No. But it'll introduce a whole new level of purpose and meaning. So you get on dating apps, and then you can build a decent Instagram, 9 to 12 good pictures. Make sure you're not tagged in any weird photos. And then you post 1 to 2 stories a day. Again, that takes 1 minute a day. And building an Instagram is not about having a lot of followers. If you want to keep it private, it's okay. You can. But remember, like I have a brand of over 2 million followers across social media. YouTube is my smallest channel, by the way. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, a little bit over 2 million real followers. I'm extremely aware of what I share and what I don't share. You can be intelligent. You don't ever have to share anything that would ruin your reputation. You can be authentic. I hope you see that I'm very authentic with the content I do, but I'm also intelligent in how I communicate. That doesn't mean I fake something, but for every thought I have that I do share, there's 99 thoughts that I don't share because it might be silly. Okay, so you're fully in control. So you can just build a good Instagram, 9 to 12, at least 9 to 12 good pictures, and send a couple of messages a day. You can get messages from there, and then you can start talking to women in person. There's only 2 problems with that. One, the skill set, and I have more videos here that you can watch. You can apply for a free initial consultation if you want help with your dating apps, if you want help with Instagram, with in-person approaches, with approach anxiety, mindset, confidence. And now the next step, which is communication. There's certain habits you have, and maybe you're communicating well in your business. I assume you are. Communicating with the women is a different context. I remember I used to be extremely confident because I was pretty good at martial arts. I'm not a professional fighter, but I used to train karate 6, 7 days a week, at least 5 to 6 days a week for 6 years. I'm better than 95% of society. There's a level of fighter, of professional fighter that I obviously cannot compete with, but I was extremely confident. Yet that confidence from martial arts did not transfer whatsoever into the area of dating and relationships. So I ended up with a woman who wasn't right for me, and I went through a whole lot of suffering. And I'd rather have you avoid that. So part of the strategy on how to avoid that is to become so radically honest that you push the wrong women away. You're currently communicating like lukewarm water with women. Your communication is extremely boring with women. It's not terrible. It's not that bad, but it's not exciting either. You want to be like Moses part in the Red Sea, where some women say, John, David, yes. And others are going to go, oh, that ginger, no thank you. You want, after an hour and a half, 2 hours of her being on a date with you, to either have a hell yes or a hell no. Anything in the middle, you just make mistakes in your communication. And then you can learn to create attraction and elevate your conversations from this boring, oh my God, the Dodgers were playing, can you believe it? In Europe, we make fun of Americans, and I love Americans. I love you guys. If you're from America, most of my clients are from America, much love, but you guys are hilarious. It's just, and by the way, Germans are just as boring. Everybody's boring. You just, oh my God, the Dodgers, I can't believe it. The weather in California, the wine in New York, oh my God. I don't even know what baseball team was playing. You have the most generic, boring conversations. And then you wonder why women lose interest in you. It's not because you are boring. You are far from boring. You just don't know how to communicate your personality in an authentic and captivating manner in a social and in particular dating context. Because not only is there a difference between dating and social, between social there's the subcontext of dating. Because if you've read a book, for example, called How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of the first laws is seek first to understand, then to be understood. If you want somebody to like you, you ask about other questions. Ask him questions if you want him to like you. Fair. That doesn't work with women. She's going to feel interviewed. So there are principles that apply in a general social context that do not at all apply in a dating context. But you can learn them. There's free resources. There's paid resources. Chances are, if you're a business owner, you value time a lot more than money. So my question for you is, what are you waiting for? Just apply for a free initial consultation. I've been able to do this with hundreds of men from 45 countries. Check out the client testimonials. Most of the client testimonials I can't even post for privacy's sake. Just apply for a free call. And a member from my team is going to reach out and then we'll figure out if and how I can help you. This is something I genuinely care about. There is no reason why I shouldn't be able to help you. If you are serious about finding the right woman to share life with, look, if you just want to be single and just F around, this is not for you. If you're not able to put your ego aside, we all have egos, that's fine. But if you're not able to put your ego aside, this is not for you. If you're not willing to learn, this is not for you. If you're not willing to invest 5, 6, 7 hours a week, this is not for you. If you're not willing to invest monetarily, this is not for you. But if you're somebody who says, no, I want to have the right woman by my side, and I'm willing to put a little bit of effort in, and I'm willing to receive a little bit of guidance, trust me, there's absolutely zero reason why I shouldn't be able to help you. Fill in that form, takes 1 minute. A member from my team is going to reach out to you, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you soon. And then look, next year, you'll be able to have a beautiful woman by your side. I was talking to another client of mine earlier today. He sent me a picture of a woman that he's in a relationship with. We're going to film a client testimonial soon. I have another client in London. He runs a small AI business. He's in a relationship. He's over the moon. Do you know how happy that makes me? I sleep well at night, because if I were to die tomorrow, I've done good. We're not going to take anything with us. So for me, am I saying that there's zero monetary incentive for me? No, we all have money. We all have fancy shit. It's cool. But trust me, the joy that I get that moves me to tears when clients tell me how they break out of their shell and they have a beautiful woman inside out by their side, man, it's amazing. Because I know the suffering that you can save yourself from, and the suffering that is inevitable. If you don't take this serious, if you don't make a decision to change this, you will either stay alone, or you'll end up with a woman who isn't right for you and she's going to make your life a living hell. Not only are you going to lose money, you're going to lose time and happiness. Most of the suffering you've experienced in your life is completely unnecessary. It was just a tactical error. I don't believe in regret. I'm not blaming you. It's not your fault. It's not about that. But responsibility means assuming the control you have over your own actions and the freedom to design a life that can truly make you happy. The science is utterly clear. The number one reason for human happiness is relationships. Looking forward to speaking with you soon.